Hey everyone, welcome to Margs and Manuscripts. This week's episode is featuring Jasmine Smith. Her debut novel, Death Card, is coming out this week, and we could not be more excited. Death Card, it's a YA novel with witchy vibes and some tarot and magic and all these other things that just make it absolutely fabulous, mainly because we definitely slid into her DMs. So, you know us, we follow everyone. And when we spot a good book and Cait gets her like magic woo-woo vibes about a book, goodness knows we're getting you on the pod. So thanks so much for joining us this week for Jasmine Smith's debut novel and her very first podcast episode ever. Oh, we're so happy we could do this with her. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.
I don't read a ton of YA, but when I do, I'm always like pleasantly surprised. And then I'm like, I should read more YA.
Like, I think it's twofold. One, it feels far more appropriate to have the female main character be 18 years old versus having like an adult book and have the female main character be 18 years old. Like, there's something to it of I would like a female main character in adult like fantasy magic land be more than the ripe age of 21, please.
It's so true.
Like, give her some years and some experience.
Man, I love a YA novel that has some adult themes and they're not even outwardly adult. It's like, it doesn't feel preachy. It doesn't feel, It's like literally just like a story that has a stance on things, that has something to say. It's so seamlessly woven into the plot and this world that the character lives in. And like, it's so easy to read. Like, it's just, I feel safe with her. I feel as like not like a fantasy or like not like I don't usually read this genre. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, she makes you feel so safe. Like, she's got you, and it's gonna get a little scary, but it's gonna be okay. Like, I don't know. I felt incredibly safe reading her words and the way that she writes and stuff.
Like, but everything is beautiful. And
it's so beautiful.
So beautiful. Like, I want to go to New Orleans. I want to go to New Orleans.
I know. So bad. And like, she does such a great job hitting everything without making it feel like a travel book. I don't know. Like, she just like, it's obvious like that the culture and like the landmarks and stuff are pointed out, but they're not like, and then we went to here and then we went to here. It was just like part of the character's life in this like really easy way.
I think it was also like wonderful because she disarmed that right away. Like, within the first couple chapters of, I see tourists, they stick out like a sore thumb. I am not tourist. Yeah. Like, how many books has she written before this? Because this feels like book 10, not book 1.
Yeah. I saw this come up on Instagram, and obviously we follow all book people. I see so many books every day on Instagram, like so many book covers and whatever. And the second I saw this come up, I just got that like little feeling in my stomach.
That you have a wonderful intuition too, because A, you're friends with me. But B, yes, like there's you have it. Like, if you were like a talent scout or an agent, you 10 out of 10 hit it out of the park.
No, but I get that. And I feel like maybe that's what it feels like when you fall in love with a book. I was like, I have a tingly feeling in my belly. I can't describe this feeling, but I need that book and I need to talk to that author. Like, it was like I will find a way to talk to this person and read this book because I am so excited about it. And luckily, this was like a cold DM. I just DM'd her and I was like, please come on my podcast and let me read your book and talk about it, because this is like, it's so beautiful. Have you seen the cover? And then she did such a good job on her Instagram at like getting people excited about it. It sounds incredible, and it's exactly what it sounds like. She does a great job.
It's like a masterclass.
Yeah, like she's doing all the right things. I just feel like everything you're told to do, like she's killing it at. And I was just dying to talk to her. So I'm so excited for this right now.
I love me some spooky vibes, man. I need more
We're here
spooky
for the
vibes.
spooky- Yeah,
I wore my spooky vibe shirt, hat because of it.
it's true. And you
This
know
was on
what? The
purpose.
spooky season books are coming out now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm obsessed.
So we have enough time to read them all before the end of spooky season.
Is it bad that even like in winter? No, this isn't bad. This is just me. In winter, I'm not like a huge Christmas book person. I don't like it. I like just to read spooky vibes all throughout winter. And then I will come back to summery reads, but not until like maybe May early. I don't like this time of summer because my garden has had it. And it's just like, this is too hot. And there's not enough nitrogen or whatever the F it is in the ground because there's not enough rain during this season. Well, that was a tangent that you probably didn't need to know.
We were here for it.
But, you plant, this is the one part. This is the one part that I like, is that when my zinnias come up, that I planted as seeds in May.
Are zinnias a real flower, or is that a nickname you gave them?
No, that's a real flower.
Okay, because it sounds like like they're called like plazinias.
I always forget that you have an absolute lack of like, it is not even on your radar.
They're actually called, but you called them zinnia. Like that is your name for them.
No, they're called zinnias. Okay. But when the zinnias come up, that tells me that it's almost fall because it takes them all summer to grow. And then they just started blooming this week, which means PSLs come out soon, which means there will be pumpkin flavored everything. And I will be so happy. Okay, I'm done.
It's coming. And this got me and definitely in the vibes. I understand now. I understand reading for vibes. Like I'm not against it. I'm just wondering if people were doing this all along. And I was just really behind.
That's my goals.
Yeah.
She's here.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
You're amazing. We were just talking about reading for vibes and if that's a new idea made by Instagram or if people were doing that forever.
I feel like people have been doing that forever.
See, it's just, yeah. But like spooky season now, yes.
It's a big thing, especially like the summer weed.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Look at the knickknacks. Look at this problem.
I have all the knickknacks and the hat, and my birthday's also on Halloween, so I'm like very invested in the fall season.
As you should be.
Yeah. I could never live anywhere without like true autumn. I would rather perish than do that.
See, I'm in North Carolina, so it's still really hot on Halloween, and I hate it.
No,
yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
No, you're like almost in your winter coat when you go trick or treating.
Yeah,
snowed.
I have not experienced that since I was a child. I feel like Halloweens just get hotter and hotter every year.
I mean, yeah, that's probably true. Up here, I couldn't do a hot Halloween. I've never even thought of that. That'd be crazy. No. That would be so weird.
Sorry. Anyways, tangent.
This book was my pick.
Yes, it was.
Even though Jenna's a spooky girl, I saw your cover pop up on Instagram, and all of your content is so good about talking about and I was like, I just got those like funny feelings in my belly of like, I'm so excited to read this book, and I have to talk to this girl. I never cold DM people. I just cold DM'd you.
Oh, really? I thought that was like a normal thing that happened.
Oh my God. I will go through publicists and like I will do it the right way. But I was like, I need to talk to her now. So
it's wonderful. Yeah. I'm honored, actually.
Oh my gosh. No, we're honored. This is so exciting. And congrats. What does this week look like for you? Like,
oh my God. I'm just in shock that we're only 5 days away. Like, completely in shock. I actually just got an email from my publicist today about my schedule for Tuesday. I'm going bookstore hopping and I'm going to be going to different Barnes and Noble stores and also an indie bookstore in Raleigh. And I'm going to be signing copies. So I'm super excited.
I'm like thinking of my contacts in
Yeah.
North Carolina, thinking
I'm
you
like,
can
oh
get
my
us a
gosh, I'm
signed
dying.
copy. That's so exciting because I feel like I was looking at your Instagram and there was posts that are like, my book comes out in 7 months. And
Yep.
trad publishing is so long that it's crazy that it's here for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 years for me since we sold the book, so it has been a long time coming. It was actually supposed to release initially in 2025, and then it got pushed back a year. So this has been a really long time for me.
And you were probably a completely different person when you wrote it.
Oh yeah, like honestly, I look back and I'm like, who was that girl who wrote this book?
Did you have to like do a reread?
I have not reread it since I did copy edits. I'm waiting until the audiobook comes out so I can like listen to it along with everybody else.
Ooh, that's a good hot
That's so
tip.
exciting. I didn't even think about the audiobook. Yeah, I just was so excited to read the actual book. Now
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I have to hear it.
I actually got like auditions from all the different like narrator options and I chose Andia Winslow. I just thought that her voice just perfectly fit the book and I'm so excited to hear like the full like book read.
So, okay, I'm just going to call it like it is. So your book does not read like a debut by any means.
No, I'm like, what are you doing next if this one was so long ago? Like,
yeah, I'm like, did
so
you have
crazy.
like a back catalog of like
what other things have you written? Yeah, this can't be like your like experimental I'm trying writing for fun first book.
No, yeah, I wrote my first book in high school. It was terrible. It'll never see the light of day, but it was like about these teenagers who are experimented on in a secret laboratory, and they develop secret powers. Like no one's ever going to read that.
I don't know, could be an audience.
But yeah, that was my first book, and then I wrote another one when I was in college. Actually, I wrote two when I was in college. And one of those was the book that I got my former agent with. I signed with her with, and that was a young adult contemporary novel. And that was like, I call that one the book of my heart. Like that was the book before Death Card. And I still like the fact that it hasn't found a publishing home still like breaks my heart.
Oh, what's the story with that? Like, what's your publishing journey? So you had another book
And a different agent.
Different agent. Did it just like die on sub? Because that's so many listeners that we have are like out on sub or they're querying or they're like kind of in those phases of their publishing journey.
Yeah, so that one, that's the one that I signed with my former agent with. And we took that one on submission after Death Card sold. I'll have to get into like Death Card and how that came to be.
Yeah.
But basically with the YA contemporary novel, we took it out to editors and we got a lot of positive feedback on it. But young adult contemporary is in this weird space right now where it's really hard to sell and publishers don't really know what they're doing with it because romantasy is so big right now. And so like we were getting feedback from editors and they were saying, oh, it reminds us of John Green. It reminds us of Nicola Yoon, but we just don't really know what to do with this right now. So it was more so like the market wasn't ready for it.
Mm-hmm. So you sold Death Card. Before that, though.
Yes, I did. The story with that is that I was actually working on edits for the contemporary novel when my agent asked me if I would be open to working on any IP. And IP is basically anything where someone else like comes up with the idea. It could be like working for Disney or working for Marvel, or it could be like working for like a story studio or a book packager where they come up with an original idea and then they find a writer to actually write the book. And so I told her, I said, yeah, I'm open to that. Like, I just want to write.
Yeah.
Anything. So she came to me with this idea from a book packager, Inked Entertainment. And I had to submit a writing sample, and they loved my voice. And they said, hey, we want you to write this book. So I wrote the first 10 chapters, and they took that out on submission to editors, and it sold based on those 10 chapters. And that was Death Card.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's a unique story.
It is. Yeah. It's very like unheard of for a debut to sell on proposal, their first book. But I just happened to get lucky.
Yeah, it's more than luck. Yours, it's so good. So like, I'm not surprised. Jenna, go ahead.
Yeah, so like what was that like then? Because this is a new journey that haven't talked to anyone about. Like what do you do then?
So basically, like to write the full book, I was on deadline for it. My editor gave me notes on those 10 chapters, and then she said, basically go forth and write the whole book. So I wrote that in 3 months. And then sent that back to her. And then from there, it was just like a normal, like publishing schedule. You go through developmental edits. And then after that's done, you do copy edits and then proofreading, and then you're done. So I did about 3 rounds of developmental edits. And the book changed a lot throughout that process. There were like storylines that were not present in the first draft that are in the finished book now.
So is it, I'm going to just sound a little, talk to me like I'm 5, please. When you have something sell on proposal, like when you were doing like the IP stuff, is it sometimes of like, you don't get to keep it? Like if you sell something like on IP, or is it you do, but it's just a different route of doing things?
It really depends on like the company that you're working for or working with. Like they're all like super different. In my case, they pretty much gave me like the free reign to do whatever I wanted with the story.
That's so
Um,
nice.
and of course, like some people, when they do IP, they just get like a flat fee and that's all they'll ever see out of that. But that's not my case. Like, I will see some money later on down the line, and I have seen some. So it really depends. It's like different from each company.
Okay.
If you're like wanting an idea of other books that like started out as IP, like the Vampire Diaries, that series, that was initially with Alloy Entertainment, which was another book packager. They've also done, I think they did the Pretty Little Liars series. So
That it's so fascinating to hear because we've interviewed other authors where they've said, oh, like they signed a 2-book deal. In the second book, they didn't have the idea for it, but the editor from the publishing company they were like, hey, we want like an angsty main character, and they're like, that's not really what I write, and I don't want to write that. So this sounds like a success story with somebody saying like like coming up with the beginning phases of what became your this amazing book. That's so I think that's really cool. Like it seems like a support, like you're supported by all these different people during the writing process.
oh yeah, it was really nice to have my editor like working with me from like so early on in the process, and to be able to get that feedback. Like not everybody gets that professional feedback like right after your first draft.
And I think that's what feels so good about it and why it reads so well. Like, it doesn't read as YA. It doesn't read as like something I wouldn't be interested in. I feel like the only thing that makes it YA is like maybe the arc of the character, but also just
That's so interesting to me because I have read some reviews where people are like, "Oh, this is too YA. I don't like this
what?
because it's too young."
Did you read it?
No, dude, I think before you came on, I was talking about how I love that you seamlessly weave adult ideas and thoughts, and not even adult, that's like the wrong word, but like strong opinions and things to say into this, and it feels like it has something to say in the best way, and I think it'll resonate with young readers and adult readers too.
I didn't want to talk down to young people. Like, the book is very current, and especially as politics. And I just felt like if I was feeling these things, teenagers are like also seeing what's going on and they're feeling these things as well. And, I just wanted to have like an outlet for them and also like a beacon of hope for them. Like, oh, things do get better.
And you literally like came right out of the gate with it. You're like, you didn't even try to hide it. It was like, this is our political stance. Ready, set, go. And but you also, like you said, you didn't have to sugarcoat stuff. You didn't have to like cloak it. Like it felt very honest. And I am not one to like reach out for like a YA book. But like I'm into like the dark and twisty. So when we got to read it, I'm like, Cait, this is not YA. What are you talking about? And she was like, this is YA. So, but also, Cait, you said, like we were chatting before this, you said you're not into the magic, realism, fantasy realm of anything.
It's just not, it's not like what I would normally pick up, but I feel like it resonates with non-fantasy or magic or realism like readers too, because your writing feels so familiar and I felt safe and comfortable. Like, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna understand this, and like we're gonna work through this together, and I'm gonna take you on a journey and everything will be fine. So if you're out there listening and you normally wouldn't reach for this genre, like, it was such a nice maybe even introduction to it, but it feels so good to read, and that's such a credit to you. And I feel like we talk about YA a little bit. We specifically wanted to have a YA author on to talk about where the genre is now and like where you think it's headed. Are you working on more YA? Are you kind of gonna dive in anywhere else, or do you like really like this?
I would like to carve out a home in YA. It's such an important genre for me. I have very fond memories of reading like so many different of, popular YA books, The Fault in Our Stars, Divergent, Hunger Games, like all of the greats. Um, and I really want to be able to like make my mark in that space. Um, but saying that, I eventually want to write for all ages. That's the goal. I don't want to be tied down to a specific age category or genre, but I do want to make a home in YA. I think in the last few years, YA has been struggling a little bit because it is kind of marketing to adults that read YA. And I always want teens to be first and foremost, like my first readers when I'm writing.
That's such a good point. Jenna, I'm sure you had a child walk in, but I understand. But we often talk about that, like where the genre is it getting too mature because it's getting geared towards adults more, because adults obviously enjoy reading it. Honestly, you know what I was thinking too as I was reading it? That I think if I was reading it as a teen, you would be like identifying with the teen characters in it. But reading it as a mom and as an adult was such a different experience. And I think that like without having too much of adult themes, that like adults will find themselves really emotionally involved in this story because of the generational story that you tell. Like the female generational relationships are so special, and they are especially prevalent in like New Orleans, like Southern literature. I find a lot, and those are always really special to read. But especially as a mom, very emotional. Like when she sees her mom, and it like no spoilers, but
that was one of my favorite scenes to write, along with the one where she gets to see another, female character in her life. I'm not going to spoil it, but I feel like a lot of us wish that we could see our lost loved ones, one more time again. And so getting to give Michaela that experience was like really special, and it's definitely one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
Because
it was really special.
was your dedication to your grandma or your grandpa?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Okay, because
Yeah.
I really paid attention to that. And then it was a beautiful little jump. Like from even just starting with the dedication, actually reading it, and then the whole entire story was totally painted differently. It would like chills. Like that's what a dedication is for.
Yeah. I felt like because, Michaela's relationship with her grandmother was so special, it was only right to dedicate it to my grandmother, who was so special in my life and who had such an impact. And there was no one else that I could dedicate this book to.
I want to get into the tea. Are you into magical stuff? And do you do the tarot cards? Do you do the medium readings? Are you into it?
I did not know anything about tarot before I started writing the book. I actually had to do research, and my best friend actually bought me my first tarot deck. But like since writing the book, like I do give myself readings sometimes when I just like feel stuck or if I just like need some guidance. So I, definitely am into it now.
That's so funny because Cait lives in Boston, I live in Wisconsin. So when I went and visited her, we went to Salem. And I'd never done like those places like don't really exist. Like the witchy shops don't really exist in Green Bay. Anyways, so we went to like a tarot card reader and I did it for the very first time. I'm like, this is weird, but like good weird. And so now like
It's
reading
so
your book
fun.
and I'm like, I want to do it again.
It's so creepy sometimes how the cards can just like they really speak to like particular moments in your life. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just had a breakthrough.
It's literally so true. But I loved her take on it where she is this like actual practicing witch where she has the powers and she's watching everybody else like try to do what she does and they cannot, because that's literally what I grew up. I grew up very close to Salem, like one of your characters. But and that's like what my whole life is, like, and going into these touristy areas and seeing like all these like magic shops and tarot card shops. And the only thing about that is that you get so jaded by it when you live there. And honestly, like you captured that perfectly in how she deals with gentrification and the city changing and, losing perspective of like where she grew up because of tourism and people taking over. It's very relatable to a lot of places, I think, in the US. People can definitely relate to that theme.
Oh yeah, yeah. And one of my blurbs actually from Jessica Lewis like mentioned the gentrification and how well it was done. And I was like surprised by that. I didn't think that would resonate with like a whole lot of people. It is like something that has come up throughout like some of my studies in college. Like I did a lot of like women's and gender studies and like racial and ethnic relations, and those, mention gentrification and how, dangerous that can be to a neighborhood, to a community. So I think that's probably where that came into play.
I assume that was a liberal arts degree. Because I'm like, yeah, liberal arts.
Yes.
I actually got an English major, but I was like 2 classes away from getting a women's and gender studies minor. Like if I had taken 2 more classes, I could have gotten that minor.
It would have taken an entire extra semester, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, for the liberal arts and English degrees. We're very familiar here.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many themes that are, like I said, that are just like so easily tied into this plot that I'm curious, like that you just have the feelings and you wrote them and without much agenda. Like, I don't know, like without being like, I really want to talk about this. And it just comes out naturally because you have so much to say. And it's just it's said so beautifully. So
Thank
yeah,
you. Y'all are really like doing great things for my ego.
It's your release week, man. We're here to pump you up.
Need it. I will butter you up all day long because you did the very hard things for a very long time. So you need to be applauded.
You need to celebrate for sure this week. Do you have any like big parties or any like is there a launch party? Is there like something that you're like particularly looking forward to?
I am not having a launch event on the day of, but next weekend I'm actually doing a book signing in Charlotte, North Carolina at Trope Bookshop. So that's going to be a fun way to celebrate and meet some readers. And then I'm doing an event with Noelle Monet later in the month. And her book, Bound by Fury, is coming out a week after mine. And it is crazy how similar it is to Death Card in theme. Like it's got Black witches in it as well. It's also got a very influential grandmother figure. It's set in the South. So we were like, oh my God, we've got to have an event together because that's crazy that our books are coming out so close together.
It's going to be so fun. I was just there for the first time like last weekend and it was like such a cute little, and the bar next door, it was adorable. I loved it.
I'm very excited. It's actually going to be for Bookstore Romance Day. So they're going to have like some other authors there doing signings. They're going to have a cinnamon roll like food truck. It's going to be so fun.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's a cute little, Jenna, it's like a little courtyard and like it has like a bar on one side and then the bookstore is like on the other side. It's cool.
I heard
really
cinnamon roll food truck.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. How did you feel when you saw that cover?
Oh my God.
It was everything that I dreamed of, honestly.
I'm a judgy person. I'm a judgy person when it comes to covers. Like, I have an art degree. I was a designer. I will never design my own book cover. Hell no. But I saw that one and I'm like, sold, buying, pre-order, check, done. Like, so good.
It was amazing. I mean, the artist, Helena Elias, she just killed it. She absolutely captured like everything so perfectly. And I had given the publisher like this slide deck of like, covers that I liked and I wanted them to take inspiration from, color palettes. I gave them like pictures of what the characters look like, and Helena just took all of that and did such a good job. And also Caitlin Yang, the designer, like they just killed it.
Oh, dream team.
It's so beautiful. And the sprayed edges too, like with the, oh my God, it was amazing. I'm not like, I don't need every special edition or anything, but I was like, that book's going to look really nice. Yeah. Yours is gonna, you need the collection, but that's going to look so pretty on some bookshelves for sure.
It definitely is. I just can't wait to actually walk into a bookstore for the first time and see it in all its glory. That's going to be amazing.
So, okay. So do you have like a box of books that you've been like longingly staring at this entire time?
Oh yeah, they're not in a box anymore. I put them on my bookshelf. Okay. But yes, I have been staring at them. I've been taking pictures with them, holding them up in the light because there's gold foil on the cover that just like shimmers in the light. Oh God, it's perfect.
Oh, you can't see that online. I feel like I haven't. So it's like even more beautiful in person?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I didn't know there was going to be gold foil until I actually got the box in the mail and opened it up. And I was like, oh my God, this is somehow even better than the graphics online.
Like if you know anything about printing, you know sprayed edges, expensive. Gold foil, which generally means embossing or debossing, depending on whatever, very expensive. You put those two together and you have like a powerhouse that can just take it to the stratosphere. And
yeah,
I'm going to go
Penguin
order.
was excited about this one.
Oh,
for
clearly
sure.
Penguin was very excited.
Yeah. And I was shocked. I didn't know it was going to get sprayed edges until I just got a random email one day with a mock-up, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to give you stenciled edges. There's a lot of excitement in-house." And I was like, "Oh my God." This is a dream come true.
That's so exciting.
This is like hashtag goals of everything you would ever want. Just
Yes,
hand it.
and I love that it is a paperback release because it's more affordable for a lot of people, especially teenagers. And you know,
True.
people love a floppy paperback. So
What, like when you mark it up and you like highlight
Ish.
things?
Wait, I haven't even thought about that aspect. So there are like differences between I'm very naive too. Jenna's like the design, so she pays attention to this stuff. But like some books only have paperback releases because that to me wasn't weird. Like I feel like I just bought a ton of paperbacks. Is that more common now?
well, it's becoming a lot more common, especially in YA, because they know that the high price point of hardcovers can kind of price out some people. So they're starting to do paperback-first releases or paperback-only releases. And my Death Card did sell as a paperback release. So I knew like the whole time that it would be just a paperback, no hardcover.
That literally makes so much sense. I never even thought of that. That's for YA, that makes sense.
And it goes into like the length of it, because sometimes like the binding just makes more sense like on a per page depending on like the weight. Wow, I'm a nerd. The weight of the paper. If it's too heavy of a weighted paper, paperback doesn't like go well with it. So it's like that happy medium of cost of paper, cost of printing,
There you
cost
go.
of binding. And
The more you know, Jenna. This for all the indie authors listening. Now we know.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
I actually love that. I did not know anything about that, so that was educational.
It's like that's why she's like the best partner for this stuff, because this is where she fills in the things I could never know. Jenna has this great question that she asks all of our guests, and you haven't asked it yet, but I'm sure it's coming. But I'm very curious to know. It's your debut, so there's not like published works out there, but you've written so many things and you've experimented with your writing and you've been doing it for a long time. But where does this book for you fall on like a superlative list? But like, where does it fall for you on the writing aspect compared to your other work?
Yeah.
I feel like this one, and this is going to sound like ridiculous. I don't even know if this is a good answer, but this one is probably most likely to end up on a banned books list.
Do tell me more.
Oh my God.
I read it, but like tell the readers more.
Yes. Has someone banned it? Can we?
Not yet. Not yet.
Damn it.
But I think just because, you know, it's got a queer relationship, it's got discussions of politics, it's got some swearing in it. I'm like, this is a Republican mom's dream banned book.
Ooh, this is a Karen would love to ban this one.
Karen would totally The thought did not cross my mind when I was reading it. I was like, this is...
Yeah, I'm expecting it. It's sad. Like, I do not support banning books, but I'm kind of expecting it to end up on at least one school system's list.
Is that your thought too? Like, as the writer, are people preparing you for that in other ways too? Does that conversation come up at all in publishing?
Oh no, that conversation has not come up at all. That's just like me, like knowing the state of the country right now, and just anticipating that.
And isn't it kind of, I will not bore you with my dissertations on this, but it is almost as if writing banned books is the goal, with or like pushing the themes farther and farther because we got to have at some point have people wake up and be like, knock it off. Quit banning books. They're not telling you. It's not like a how-to manual guide, folks. Like, this is simply challenging you. And if it challenges you a little too hard, does that mean it's not right for everyone? So
I'm thinking of the themes that are going to like get it. I wonder if even just the magical part of it would get it banned.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
duh.
I didn't even think about that.
Duh.
But yes, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like anything goes, right? I'm just saying, like, even just like the baseline, like
It's
New
got
Orleans,
witches and demons.
witches,
Yeah.
witches. Yes, it's the witches. It's the witches. Yeah, demons and witches.
Karen's going to hate it.
Yeah, that might. I don't know. I don't like. You never know.
I may just push it over the edge, man.
How do you? I know I'm jumping around like because I feel like
Okay.
I have so many. But how many? How do you? Those there are so many plot lines in this. That
Please tell me there were Post-its involved.
how did you plot this out? I know that there was like initial idea, but like, how do you keep track of all? Like there's so many things happening and so many families and so many. What's your system?
I had for each revision, I had a spreadsheet where I would actually like list out exactly what happens in each chapter. And then I would go through and say exactly what needs to change, both like overall, but also on like a chapter by chapter basis. I also had a whiteboard calendar where I would like mark what is happening each day. So I would keep track of like the timeline. But apparently I was really bad at that because the proofreaders and copy editors had to like fix a lot of the timeline issues.
Like, I legit have like a pile of note cards over there for my book where it's like timeline, event, day 0, event plus 20 days.
Yeah, I thought I was doing such a good job. And then they were like, actually, no, this is happening on Thursday. This needs to change. And I was like, oh, I thought I had it happening on Thursday, but apparently I had it happening on Tuesday. It was all messed up.
You know what? You can't be responsible for that. That's their job to figure out.
That's true.
And they did an excellent job. Like, I had to mention them in the acknowledgments because they did fantastic. The book would not be what it was without the copy editors and proofreaders.
Yeah, that's a crazy job, though. Like, I feel like I could not keep track of all those things. That, like, what they do is insane. Like, just reading something and paying attention to those details and stuff. Whereas, we have the whiteboard, or Jenna has the note cards, you have the note card. Like, it takes us so much more work to figure that out. And they just like read it and they're like, point out all those things. It's like nuts.
Well, I'm pretty sure they have like a style sheet that they're working off of. And I know that mine had like actually had their own sort of calendar that they were working off of to figure out what day the events were happening.
Yeah, because you have a very set timeline.
Oh, yeah. It takes place in like a month from start to finish. Yeah. The book.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
the moons. You just know what the moon's going to be. And I'm not sure. It is crazy how I love that. I feel like in some books that I read, all those things that you need in literature in a good book, the boxes you check, like, okay, timeline, stakes, there's a time limit. Okay, there's like life or death situation, the stakes are high. All the boxes were checked, but they were tied in so well. I don't know. Like, am I
It
saying
wasn't
that the right way? You know what I
distracting.
mean? It wasn't distracting where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she just had to add this in because
Check
she
that
needs
box.
an ailing grandmother to really up the emotional, you know what I mean? Like, they were just all part of the plot in this really easy way and creative way with the moon, with the card and the visions. What awesome tools to use.
That great storytelling tools for sure. I want another one in this series.
What we need
So-
enough reviews saying that, so maybe my publisher will buy another one.
I will.
That was my biggest question going into this when I'm
Yes.
finished reading.
Yeah, it for now is a standalone, but never say never. Maybe they'll come back and say, "Oh, Jasmine, we want another one." That's the hope. But for right now, it's a standalone.
Because you clearly have an idea.
Maybe, maybe not.
You left it open. I mean, it didn't like end on a cliffhanger by any means, but like it ended in a way that you could clearly the next one.
I wanted the ending to, end in a way where you can be satisfied with, that journey has closed. But if I need to reopen it in the future, we still have some more story left to tell.
It's like a season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's all I'm saying.
It literally is. And there's so many relationships that just are starting. So many things that she's taking on that are just starting. Like, there's so many ways to go with this. I'm just saying, I feel like it's going to happen. I think that readers are going to want more for sure. That's
I
my
hope
bias.
so. I hope so.
Let's ask the cards.
Yes.
Yes. So let's ask the cards. What is there something that you're working on next that you can talk about, or do you have something even that you're just doing for fun? Or
Yeah, I'm not under contract for anything right now, but I've got a couple things that I'm in the middle of working on. One of them is another YA contemporary fantasy. It's almost like a murder mystery type where a teen girl is searching for her sister's murderer. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Just like,
just drop it in.
And then I've got an idea that literally just came to me the other night that I'm like, maybe I kind of want to look into this a little bit more and see. But I've always got multiple ideas in my head that I just have to like parse through.
This has been absolutely fabulous. I'm so happy that this worked out because, like we said, our episodes are very particularly curated. And this was one where I'm like, we have an open slot for her? Are you serious?
Can we talk to her? Like, we were so excited.
And I'm so glad that y'all had me on. This is actually like my first ever podcast, and I was so nervous for it. But it has been like, yes, it has been so much fun talking to y'all. It's just been so natural. So thank you for having me on.
Anytime, especially when you get that sequel, or if you want to do like a live, like we're going to do like a card reading, like while we're talking about the book some more. Maybe like a
You will come up with a better like marketing episode plan. This was just like, we just want to talk to her. But I have a feeling you'll be doing a lot more of these, so get used to it.
Yes.
Yeah, this was good practice. And it was a great first podcast appearance. So.
Yay! That's what we love to hear.
Glad. This has been another episode of Margs and Manuscripts. Thanks for listening. Your hosts are Jenna G. Judith, Cait Winelovich. Our writer and public relations manager is Cait Winelovich. Music by John Winelovich. Editor, Jenna G. Judith. Creative direction, Jenna G. Judith. And our podcast manager, Cait Winelovich. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Visit our website at margsandmanuscripts.com. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.